Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right. So as you guys know, I'm still offering the reward for anybody who can help me find my perfect roommate. So as a reminder, the rules. You gotta find a roommate for me, and we gotta stay together for at least one half-life of polonium 210. And the reward is, well, it started at a 1 ounce gold coin, but I've added a few things. Go watch my live. I'll probably add a few more things later this week as I think about this. But the reward's still up for grabs. But I want to point out some hate mail that I got. Some of my viewers say that what's the point? You're just going to cause more trouble. I stayed in Taiwan for 2.5 months, as you guys remember, and during that time I encountered a lot of long-term residents. In Taiwan, it's not unusual for people to live in communal settings, even as adults. And so you had a lot of locals there. Plus, you had people who were taking extended vacations. It's very popular in Germany for people to travel for a year. And so I stayed with a lot of the equivalent of the kind of people I would room with here in the United States. Now, there was a big difference, though. Did I get into conflict with people over noise and dishes and stupid stuff? Yes. Did it escalate to the point where one of us had to leave the place? No, not even close. And here's why. I packed very lightly for my trip to Taiwan. If I needed to go in a hurry, most of my stuff could fit in two hands and be out of the door. Even the stuff that couldn't fit in two hands, I wouldn't be upset about giving them up, right? And did I have to resort to that? No, but the fact that that option was there changed what it meant to get into a disagreement with a roommate, right? A disagreement with a roommate is no longer, am I going to lose my stuff? Am I going to lose my connection to the world? Rather, it's, do I get to explore a different hotel tonight, right? It changes the meaning of that disagreement, right? It's kind of like it's a very different concept to play poker with your life savings versus playing poker with the money you could afford to lose that you've already budgeted for, right? It's kind of, you can think of it like that, right? You'll play the game very differently, right? Not even just about how much money you win or lose, but the actual mechanics of the game become very different, right? How much you'll raise, what you'll bet on, it will be very different, right? So after I got home, and I had a number of conflicts like that, none of them approached anybody having to leave the place. In fact, they made us stronger. Some of the people that I fought with, I'm still Instagram friends with, right? So the first thing I did when I got home was to upgrade my storage unit. I was already renting some storage space for my art. I upped it by 50% or so to the next higher unit, and I made it a rule to not leave things with my roommates anymore, especially if I'm living with somebody who owns the place. Did I get into conflict after coming home? Yes. Did I get kicked out of anywhere? Did anybody have to resort to any violence against me? No. And I really like it. Let's face it. The difference between a conflict where you get agitated versus one where you could use your cooler heads oftentimes has to deal with where if you're backed into a corner or not. I feel very badly for people who have pets or children in the home because they've lost the ability to control this matter, right? So I have a storage unit. I try to not keep too. Here's my rule of thumb. If you're going to room with other people, assuming you don't have pets or kids, obviously this won't work if you have pets or kids. Think about what you realistically can carry with two hands out of the house. Okay, you got an image of that. Everything in excess of that in that house no longer belongs to you anymore. And if you're comfortable with that, then leave it there. If you're not, then you got to find another place to keep your stuff. But whatever you can't carry with two hands out of the house, it belongs to the house now. That's my rule of thumb. And if you're not comfortable with that, then you got to do something, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.